Okay, so let's see how that actually works out now. Sorry for the delay. Thanks for everyone being here. My name's David Vaughan. Let me pop this up real quick. And thank you so much for the hearts. I do appreciate it. I am actually streaming this out to multiple locations, so hopefully everything's coming through like it should. I may actually be stretching my bandwidth a little bit more than I really ought to. We'll see. Because my system CPU keeps saying it's pegged. So hopefully it's not too jumpy, jittery. By the way, if you're watching, comment down below wherever you happen to be, and I will try and catch up with you in the comments. Um, One area that doesn't seem to be catching up is YouTube. So let's see how this looks over on YouTube because, oh, I see what's going on. I see what's going on over there. Okay, so I am actually going to walk you through. It's pretty chopped, but you hear me. Okay. I may actually end this New York City hashtag love. Um, yeah, I don't want it to be too choppy video, and I see where I can see it now that it is choppy video. That's too bad. Okay, what are we going to do about this? Well, I guess just the bus, no biggie. You hear me fine. Yeah, but the problem about this is that one, I want to repurpose this video recording afterwards, but also I want to make sure that because you're able to see, this is going to be a visual thing. I'm actually going to screen share. It looks like I'm doing okay at the moment, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and go, and if I have to redo this again, then I'll have to redo it again. Um, so, with that being said, let's get going. Hey everyone, my name is David Vaughan. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and today we are doing a workshop Wednesday, and we are going to be talking about video editing workflow and making it a little bit easier in Screenflow with templates. And I'm going to show you what I set up and what I use when I'm editing my videos. So let's take this off, and let's go ahead and jump right on in. So what you want to look at is the let me pop this up real quick. All right, so I'm gonna slip over to, so what are templates? Well, templates, you know what templates are. They're kind of the cookie cutter. This is the pattern to follow. Well, with video editing, the reason that I set up templates, and a lot of video editors or non-video editors, but people that are editing videos set up templates, is for the same reason as anything else. Is to try and make the workflow a little bit easier. And so the reason that you want to make the workflow easier is because video editing can be a cumbersome, grueling, daunting task. A lot of people don't like it, but it has to be done. You want to add certain elements into your video, and so with that being said, you need to sit there and have, it'd be nice to be able to just sit there and say, okay, I always have an intro and I always have an outro. Maybe I always have a call to action or a call to action that I can swap in. My videos, I always start the video the same way. Then I have a segue here, that type of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the file setup, the layout that I do, and then I'll go into Screenflow and we'll kind of walk through real quick. The second part to this is Premiere Pro, which is another video editing program. There are certainly other editing programs, Sony Vega. I don't use that. And there may be other editing programs that you use out there, but these are the two that I use. I know Camtasia is also a popular one on the Windows platform. I'm in a Mac. But with that being said, the the theory behind everything and setting up a template should be the same way, so no matter the program. So are you ready? Any questions so far? If not, then I will. Let me actually check real quick and see if I got any. And I am broadcasting this live for those watching the replay. And I got one person watching now over on YouTube, so thanks a lot. Make sure you say hi in the chat, and if you got any questions while we're going along, and the chat is actually over on the right-hand side, let us know. And I am also, and I know I'm not supposed to multicast this out, but you know what? I'm going to record this video, so thanks so much. And make sure you share this out to other people as well. That'd be a good idea. Share it out. Get them in here. And let's see what questions they may have. All right, here we go. And I'm not on the right screen. There we are. So what I did is I created a folder, and in the folder I went ahead and brought over some files. Now your files may be different, and this is not the actual layout of the folder layout or whatever. What this is just I'm getting started. I am actually going to walk you through. I could actually show you the folder where I have my templates already set up, but hey, I'll just sit there and do this. So anyway, what I did is I created a dump file. I like having dump files. Dump files are places where I can dump lots of stuff in, and then I move it out to where it needs to go. So you can have a dump file as well. So the first thing you want to do is you want to create a new folder. And I call it template. Easy enough. And then once you're in that folder, and Steven's over on video live over on Smile Time, I'm getting that notification. So once you're in there, then what we need to do is we need to check for certain structures in there. So what are we going to have in there? Well, in a lot of videos, maybe not every video, you're going to have items like images, and you're going to have you know what, I'm going to do that right there. And then you can also have, well, if it's a video that you're doing, then you're going to have raw video. And I like calling it raw just because that's an indicator to me that the video is unedited. It's the raw, whatever I shot with iPhone, DSLR camera, Handycam, whatever it is, GoPro. So I've got raw video. Then another area that I'm going to have a lot of times in video, well, the second part of any video is audio, but audio may be background audio. It may be various different things. And so what you can do is you can start setting up various different folders subfolders within the subfolders of the main folder. It's a lot of folders, isn't it? So if you do a new folder and you say, let's see, background, you could do background music. You could do a new one called background. You could do FX, so like sound effects, and take these and drag these into, and then what you're doing is you're creating, and see if you open it now, see now I've got two subfolders in here, and you're kind of creating that architecture, so it's easy for me be able to place things. The other thing it helps in doing to help make the workflow more efficient for video editing is now I know everywhere, this is where it's located. This is, so I don't have to hunt all over the place. I can do my work beforehand, before I sit down and start editing. Because if you're like me, once I sit down to start editing, I want to go ahead and get through the editing process as much as I possibly can and export it so that I can start publishing it out. I don't like coming back to things later on if I don't have to. It really depends on the project too. This is really good for, it's good for any type of project. But when I'm talking about I like to sit down and get it done, I'm talking about videos that I'm putting up on YouTube or Vimeo or Facebook or Instagram, something that I'm doing, short videos, less than, 10 minutes on average, 5-6 minute videos, type of stuff like that. If you're doing some large project, yeah, it's going to take longer to do editing because there's lots of moving parts that are in there. But hopefully you get the idea. Hopefully you understand. Okay, so let's see. Another folder that I have in mine is called BRoll. And BRoll, if you don't know, you might think, oops, there we go. You might think the B-roll should go under raw video. I don't really do that. I kind of throw B-roll in its own little area, and B-roll footage is kind of like if you have a second camera set up and it's taking a different angled shot. If you've that's really kind of B-roll stuff for me. I mean, there could be other. It's kind of like you'll get the idea of what B-roll is. All right, let's see. And another folder that I've got to go along with, is bloopers. I don't always include bloopers in videos, but I can tell you that bloopers often work out really, really well for like at the end of the video. I wish I could sit there and say that I do one take on every video I ever shoot and just go on through. But most of my videos are honestly kind of like I'm talking to you now live. There's lots of ands and ums and brain fart moments and all these different things. So bloopers are kind of funny sometimes to put in there. Now another, so then I start thinking about segments of the video. So there's the intro. There's the outro. You can do a segue folder. I don't really do a lot of segues. I could show you what I'm talking about when it talks about segue. It's where it's kind of like that little break. I don't really have a folder, but if you have segues, particular segues that you always use, by all means make a segue folder. That's not what I do. It's not that I don't recommend it. Okay, and then I have a couple more folders. I'm just looking over. Because I have two video editing programs, one's Screenflow and one's Premiere Pro by Adobe, I have a Screenflow folder that has Screenflow templates set up in it, and then I have a Premiere Pro folder that has the Premiere Pro template set up in it. So I actually have a folder called templates. I have all these, and then I actually have templates within the templates, but I'm not going to show you that. That's too far down the rabbit hole to go today. So what I'm just going to do is show you what I do with Screenflow, but that is one reason that I have Screenflow. And then I've got, there was one other folder that I had, Upload. Oh my gosh, how could I forget that? Upload. Now I have an upload folder, and the reason that I have an upload folder is that when I make a video, there is YouTube, there is Facebook, and occasionally there's also Instagram. There's been more Instagram, so I just take those and I move those over to the upload folder, and I'm going to move the YouTube. And so the reason that I'm doing that, sorry that it keeps on doing that, but anyway, the reason that I do that is because there may be certain little things for the YouTube when I'm uploading that I put for YouTube, Facebook, and I'm going to show you what that means in here in just a moment. So here's kind of the basic set. Oh, wait, I'm forgetting one, aren't I? No, I have images. Okay. So what I don't have is that. And let me move these under template. Okay, so now I've got one folder. It's called template. And then I've got all these other folders that are inside of template. Now, one thing that I do in template, or in when organizing things, is that it may not be put in the way that I usually put things in, and I want to get to a folder a little bit faster. So I will actually, what I do is I just put a little underscore in front of images or any of the words, and now that puts that up at the top. So you can see, let's see, there were some other ones. Like my templates folder actually has an underscore in front of it because it resides in a folder that's got a lot of different stuff in it, and I want to be able to get to my templates folder easily. So I put an underscore. It always puts it up at the top. Now, if you underscore everything, if you put an underscore in front of every folder name, then everything's going to be up at the top, and that just defeats the purpose. So you don't really want to do that. Or maybe you do, So with images, let's go here. So another folder that goes in images that I always have is lower third, or thirds if I have more than one. And so now that I've got lower thirds in here, one thing that I can start showing you is, see, I've got this right here as my, I don't know if that's actually going to show on, I don't think it is. No, it's not. Okay. But this is a lower third that I've got. It's the same lower third as I've got right here, as you can see. So it's this lower third. And oh, I didn't show you guys that. I'm sorry, I didn't transition that over. So if I transition that over, this is the lower third that I'm highlighting right now. So let me take that back off. So what I do is I take the lower third. I've always used the lower third. I like this lower third. Sorry that it keeps switching back, but now you can see lower thirds is under here. Okay. And so that's really what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking things out of the dump folder, and I'm going to start placing them into subfolders. If I've got, if they've got a place. Now, like BRoll and bloopers, I don't have anything that I always use for that type of stuff, so that type of stuff just gets put in there before. Raw video, so other folders that I have, I shoot with my iPhone. I shoot with my Nikon, and occasionally C920, which is my webcam. So I will take that and I will put that under the raw video. And so again, one of the oops, I didn't mean to do that. Go back. Went too far. Okay, there we go. All right, so now under raw video, if I've shot video with my iPhone, it'll go in the iPhone folder. If it's shot on my Nikon, it'll go in the Nikon folder. If it's shot from the web camera that I've got on my desktop, then I'll go from the 920. And you can put this from other things if you do Periscope videos and you want to, whatever it is that you want to do, that's fine. I don't recommend really making things too complex because then you just make the workflow efficiency less efficient, and that's not a good thing. That's not really what you want to do. So how are we doing so far? Give me some hearts if everything's resonating with you. If you got any questions, let me know. I'm going to try and catch them. If I don't catch them while I'm talking, just hang on to your questions, and I will be happy to answer them towards the end. You folks over on YouTube and Facebook as well, if you've got any questions, please let me know, and I will be happy to try and answer as I can. But otherwise, I don't see any questions at the moment. So thanks a lot for continuing to stick with me. But let's keep on going. So let's start placing items in folders. So these are my two intros that I have. It's the exact same intro. In fact, it's the intro that I used at the beginning. One of them's has music with it. And then one of them doesn't have music. It does have sound effects, but it doesn't have music with it. So I just drag those over to my intro folder. I wish I would stop doing that. Outro. Now I've done, these are two new outros that I just had recently done. And so those go into the outro folder. And see, that's all I'm really doing. Volume overlay. Now this is actually a Facebook, and these should be better labeled for me, but I just know what they are. So these are actually Facebook. So let me go to the upload. These are Facebook specific. So I'm actually going to create a subfolder inside of the Facebook upload folder, subfolders, and I'm going to call that overlay. And I probably didn't spell that right, but I'm not here for spelling. All right, and so what these do, and I'll show you once we get into, maybe I'll show you once we get into Screenflow, I'll show you what they do. Video placeholder, Twitter, YouTube, and video placeholder for another No2 videos. So I've done some different ones. These are all outros for outros as well. And what they basically do, and I'll show you that stuff. Let's see. So let's go outro. And then we've got video placeholders for Instagram and for Facebook. And so these, instead of going into my outro, these actually go into their respective folders on the upload. And the only reason I did that is just because if I use them, then I know where they are. Where was the other one? There it is. Did I move the... Oh, I moved the Instagram to the Facebook folder. And this is a Facebook snippet outro. That goes actually in the outro folder. Instagram outro, again, in the Instagram. And this is another YouTube outro that I've gotten done, so that goes in the outro. So, here's what you can see is that now I've gone from having a template, from everything in a dump file, which is now empty, and gone from some disorganization of everything that I might use for a lot of different videos. Now I've got some organization going on for the videos, for my video editing, and it helps out a whole lot more. So let's see. So what's the next step? Close all these up. So where do you go from here? Okay, because now you got a template folder. Are you saying that I open things up from here? Well, we need to make a template in Screenflow, and so that's going to actually reside here in this folder. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Screenflow. So let me cut over to that. So here we are in Screenflow on a completely blank document. And so what we're going to begin doing is adding some of the files that we use. So we're going to say this is it's for anything, because all we do is we swap odds and ends out when we go on. So I always have videos, or I typically have videos set up in a certain pattern. The beginning of the video is kind of like the explanation of what the video is about, and what you're going to get from it. It's very short, and so it usually lasts. It usually lasts about 10 seconds. And it's not, oh, I know why it's not going to move. All right, so let's add some media in. Actually, I'll do it this way. So let's add my intros. Okay. So now, so my intro is going too far. So usually it's about 10 seconds or so, and then my intro cuts in. All right, so if you look, what I'm doing now, and hopefully that's looking all right. I'm actually take my camera off. No, it's okay. And you can move this in or out. So here's your timeline. Here's your areas that you put in. And one thing that I need to say, so this document, this new document in Screenflow that I set up for 1920 by 1080. And I recommend that you actually do it by, so let's change this. For the majority of people out there, the best video to be able to publish, to work with and everything, because sometimes we do, and I'm not getting into a lot of video editing, there's reasons behind this, but I usually set up all my videos as 720. It works fine on all mobile devices, desktops, even on TVs when people are watching the videos through an app or an Apple TV or a Chromecast or whatever. And the reason that I do that is for a lot of different reasons, and I don't want to sidetrack and get into that. But one of the main ones is if you ever sit there and create a document in 1080 and you film in 1080, and I film all my stuff in 1080. So I do my editing in 720, but I film in 1080 or higher, like 4K. And the reason that I do that is so that if I ever need to like zoom in or something like that, if I filmed in 1080 but I'm editing in 720 and I zoom in on that 1080, I don't get pixelization, which can happen if you film in 1080 and edit in 1080 or whatever. So those are the steps that I recommend if you can do that type of stuff. So anyway, the document setup is 720. The first 10 seconds will go right here in this little area. So I can take the video, I can cut it, and I can say, okay, my intro is going here. And then my intro video goes here. And what I do is I just go ahead and scale this down, because right now what you can see is that this area around it, that's the actual size. So my intro is actually 1080, but the canvas is 720. So 67% of 100, 67% of 1920 by 1080 is 720. There you go. It's actually 67.333 or something like that. It's, I don't know. But anyway, 67% works great. And then from there, I can do other things. So if I want to go ahead and have my lower third that I always use in, I can do that. So let me move this up just a bit. And the reason I'm going to do that is that I always put my videos down. And the reason being is for like if I'm doing text overlay or anything in my videos, then they can go up here. So I'll do my, this is my lower third, as you can see. And I'm not really, I can pan that around, I can make it smaller, bigger, whatever I want to do. It's just a PNG file that I created. I think I actually created this on Canva, but I could be mistaken. No, I think I used Illustrator. All right, so what else do we have? And then we've got our outros, and I'm not going to pull, well, I can pull all these over. Let's see. So if I pull those in here, all right. And see what I'm saying about now things start to get crowded and all that type of stuff. But, this is typically stuff, and you don't have to worry about it too much. It's all going to be in here. So let's say that the average duration that I try to shoot for on videos is, that was too much. Let's say 5 minutes, 30 seconds. So from there, I can do some outros. So if I want this type of outro at 5 minutes and 30 seconds. And that's also done in 1080. So we just reduce that down. Or if I want a different one, let's see. Maybe I want to go with, or I can just swap them out. It doesn't really matter. So here, like I was saying, here is a different outro that I use. So anyway, the point being with the template is that, here's over here at the beginning. Oops, shoot up here. So you've got your area where you do your intro, and then I've got my intro video. Explain it. This is the area where you're explaining what you do. And this is how I do videos. It may not be how you do videos. And then you've got your intro. And then what happens is this area afterwards is where, I come back on. Hey, welcome. Thanks a lot for tuning in. One recommendation is if you have a lower third with your name on it, then don't sit there when you come back on and say, hey, this is David Vaughan, because that's what the purpose of the lower third is. Assume people can read. That's just a little tidbit extra. And then in this area, in this whole area, I may have text overlays. I may have various different things. Everything's going to be different per video. But I've gotten this area set up. And then I've got the area at the end where I've got my outros. I typically try to go for 5 minutes, 30 seconds or whatever. And so I have that set in that area. And then for the reason that I was going to say, so let's say that I'm doing a Twitter video, a Twitter caption of it, something short and sweet, and I want to add to it, then I can do Twitter. And Twitter's dimensions are different. So, there's a Twitter, and if you look, it's got call to actions. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. And here's all the other things that I can talk about, all the other places I'm at. Like, comment, and retweet, calls to action, that type of stuff is where I'm going with all this. And then for Instagram, because Instagram is 1080 by 1080, which is always weird. So you go back here, and you can just set that to there. And then what you got is, this is a video that I pre-made up, because thanking everyone for watching the video, giving them a call to action. Hey, make sure to like, comment, share, stalk me socially. I am David Vaughan, and there's all these different things. So it's different little things. And if you've got like something special coming up, or a contest, or an ebook, or an event or something like that, you can always make different things. But again, this is just to try and make it as easy as possible. All right, so how we doing? So I still got my one viewer over there, and I still got my one viewer over there. So anyway, this is really, and I know this was kind of long. I'm not really going to go on too much longer, because I've taken up enough of your time as it is. I appreciate it very, very much. Come back over to me. I am so sorry. Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me. All right. So let's go back over to Screenflow. All right. So we're back over at Screenflow. So now that I've got this template set up, this is what my structure is going to look like. Then I want to save it. And where do I want to save it? I want to save it in the same place. let's see, other, and it was in movies, and it was in demo, and it was in template, and it's not showing the save. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. So we'll just call it template. And if you want to make a template for YouTube and a template for Facebook and a template for, you can do all that type of stuff as well and stick it in the same spot. And then I have to go back to where I was, which is still not showing it to you, but that's fine. All right, and I save this there. And now, if I go back to my template folder in Screenflow, you'll see template. So then it's like, okay, so what do you do from there? So now that this is set up as template, you can close this out. Oops, just getting ready to close out Wirecast. All right, so we're done with this. Close it out, and let's go back to here. So you're like, okay, so what do I do now? So now everything's set up, and it's not static at all. If it's something that you need to change along the way, by all means, do it. So now, instead of starting with your template folder, just start with, maybe you have a projects folder or something. This folder is called demo because that's what this is, demo. So let's say that I'm doing a new video I shot, and this one's called How to Edit Video Easier. And now when you open up How to Edit Video Easier, look at there. Now you understand why I have the template with an underscore in front, because watch, it puts it up at the top. Because I always want to be able to put my hands on the template folder quick and easy so that I can create my other folder, my new folder. So now under How to Edit Video, here's all my folders, here's all my stuff. If you go into Screenflow, and if you tap that open, it'll open that. And it'll be all, and then what I would do is recommend that you change the name to the same thing as the folder. But it's got my intros, it's got my outros, it's got all the different stuff that I had. So there is, in a nutshell, not a really quick nutshell though, was it? But there is how to hopefully make the workflow for editing videos a little bit more efficient using templates with Screenflow. And I may end up doing another video for Premiere Pro, but again, Premiere Pro, Screenflow, Sony Vega, whatever it is that you use. If you do podcasts, the same thing can be done for podcasts. You can set up a workflow, a template workflow for your podcast. I've always got the beginning, I've always got an intro that gets played, then I cut in, maybe I do, and you can set up for a month. Maybe you got sponsors. And so you always want to have in, a cue for the sponsor. By the way, this episode today is brought to you by that type of stuff. So anyway, I know that this has been a bit long. I appreciate everybody being around the entire time. If I didn't catch your questions, or if you have questions, by all means, ask them now. Otherwise, if I didn't catch your questions, you're more than welcome to leave them in the comments down below. Or tweet at me at I am David Vaughan, or you can reach me on any of these, including Facebook at I am David Vaughan, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever it is that you want to do. So hopefully that helped out. Hopefully it wasn't too jittery. The video worked out pretty well. It wasn't really me that you need to be paying attention to, just what I was saying. And yeah, I appreciate everybody showing up. I appreciate everybody doing what you're doing. And go make some video. And let's see what you got. If you got any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much. And goodbye.